Bring your cup and take a seat. Fill it up, coffee, wine, or tea. Come find what you're looking for. A good pour.
Welcome back to A Good Pour. I am Kathryn Good, your host. Today we are joined by James Story. It is Black History Month, and we have a program with Together Sumner here in Sumner County that we want to talk about. But James is in a whole lot of things, and I feel like a whole lot of our community actually want to. The first time I ever heard your name was during COVID when the whole community seemed to be praying for you. I watched on the news when you exited the hospital and there was a parade of clapping.
Right.
The next time I saw you, you probably don't remember this, but the next time I saw you was at a Together Sumner meeting, and I spoke, and you told me. Do you remember what you told me?
No, I don't.
You said, you can sing.
That is right.
And I said, Mr. Story, I cannot.
I remember that now.
I said, God gifted me with a lot of things, but a singing voice was not it. And you said, well, I can teach you.
I said, I remember your alto voice. I said, you're an alto because of your speaking voice and your projection. I said, she could be a good singer.
Well,
right?
So I went home and I told my husband that what you said, and he said,
he missed that one.
He said he disagreed with that statement.
Okay.
So I definitely would have to have some one-on-one training with you. But you are well known in this community. I believe you have a flag up on the square, don't you?
Yes, I was really fortunate to be recognized as one of the Black History figures this year with a banner right at the church where I work sometimes. And it was such an honor for me to be selected for this great honor.
Yeah.
To represent historical figures.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Gallatin, the city of Gallatin around the square has banners of
Correct.
community Black leaders, right?
Well, they're Black historical figures, not only figures, but they have landmarks that were prominent in early Gallatin, just to recognize community leaders. And at one time, I think the committee was sanctioned by Walter Durham, which was a state historian at the time, to do something special for Black history. And I think Velma Brinkley and a committee took that up to do each year.
Yeah, it's such a neat experience to walk.
It's good to walk around, not only to see yourself, but to be among some of those historical figures.
Absolutely. Well, today, Together Sumner, it is on February 23rd. We are going to have a celebration of legacy.
I am so excited. This was really Dr. Jackson at First Baptist charged me to come up with a program. So this year I thought I would solicit some of my creative performing arts friends to come together to do a presentation highlighting some of the narratives of African Americans and some of the songs of African Americans, as well as dance. So it's a visual and performance arts evening that we were going to highlight. We actually have Henry Jones, who is our Hendersonville's poet laureate, who is going to be there to share in some poetry. We have some readings. We have some dancers from the praise team at the praise team at First Baptist, and the steppers at Gallatin High School. So it's a whole potpourri of people coming together to celebrate in the arts.
Yeah. Tell me, in this Black History Month, why is it important that we continue to talk about Black history?
Well, history has always been something really personal to me for the simple fact that I grew up in a Jim Crow South, of course, in Upper East Tennessee. And as a young musician, I was not afforded a lot of the opportunities that some of my white friends were afforded, like the private lessons and things that would make me a better person in my field. Not only that, but having different rules that you can't go there. You have to go to the back door. You can't drink in that water fountain, or you have a separate place to watch the movies. So I grew up in that, and I felt that. And history had changed that throughout my life. That historical significance of having those freedoms, not only did history become a part of my life, I had a high school teacher, Mr. Dick Dowdy, that made history come alive. And from that, I went on to college, and I had another history teacher who said that history is a vital part of our life. And then when I had an opportunity to study my own history and my music history about dealing my research with African American spirituals, it just opened up a whole world to me. And it made me realize that not only was music a vital part of my history, but education was a part of my history, because I come from a long line of educators and I come from a long line of musicians. So I am the recipient of all of those people that have gone on before.
Yeah.
So I've researched. One of my biggest honors was presenting my research at the University of Hawaii on African American spirituals at the International Commission on Humanities.
Okay.
And that was from then I actually wrote a play dealing with African American spirituals and culture and family culture. And my favorite thing to do in my pastime is to study my own genealogy. And I've gotten our family's history back to 1500s. And that's very unusual for African Americans to trace their lineage back that far. So history is so important to me.
What part of East Tennessee?
I grew up in Greenville, Tennessee,
Okay.
Upper East Tennessee, near past Knoxville, up in the area of Bristol, Keysport, and Johnson City.
I went to high school in Johnson City, so that's
Go
why.
Hilltoppers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, not really, because we were big rivals.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I know that area well. My husband was DB, Dobbins Bennett.
Yeah.
We did not know each other until Knoxville, but we were high school rivals. And didn't know.
You know how the rivalry is in Upper East Tennessee, especially football and basketball.
Yes, yeah. Well, great. Anything else we should know about the program? It's February 23rd. At what time?
It's at 6 o'clock p.m. And as the brochure says, join us as we honor contributions of historical Black figures through a vibrant program of narratives, soulful songs, expressive dance, and heartfelt poetry. The evening will reflect on the courage, artistry, and resilience that have shaped history and inspired generations.
Yeah, love that. I'm so excited for it. And everyone's welcome, right?
Everyone's welcome. There's no admission. Just come as you are.
At
It's very casual.
Winchester.
It's at First Baptist Church on Winchester at 6 o'clock p.m.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about some other stuff, because you got your hands in everything, I feel like.
Okay.
All right. So you have a book based on your experience.
I have a book. It's called This Is My Story, This Is My Song, and This Is My Miracle, which has 3 parts. The first part I've alluded to already, growing up in East Tennessee, and some of the discoveries of who I was as a child and my early impacts of music education on my life. The second part is an homage to some of the mentors that shaped my musical life. And the third part is my experience with COVID, spending 71 days in 3 different hospitals, and the resilience of prayer and faith and coming through that trauma really shaped my life as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget the news. I did not know you then, but I could tell that how well you are loved, and what this community specifically means to you.
That's the really neat thing about Gallatin. There is a connection of people of faith, people that believe in prayer, and I am a recipient of that through my healing process. Not only the people of Gallatin, but people around the state, people around the world, places that I taught, like Ireland, they came together in their faith to encourage my healing. And I can never repay all the prayers that went up for my healing, because I was pretty much ready for hospice. And with the prayers and the faith and even my belief, I think that catapulted me to some of my healing.
You experienced COVID pretty early in the.
Yes, it was very early.
Yeah.
It was 3 weeks. We had played for the Green and Gold. My band had played for the Green and Gold event, and then I started feeling kind of weird, and I went onto the hospital. And I didn't even think about COVID at that time. But the markers showed that I had been exposed to it, and from then it went downhill. But now, with my resilience of faith and prayer and strength, I've overcome some of it. There are some long-term effects that I still experience. Even going to my optometrist the other day, the new optometrist is a new replacement because my regular optometrist had passed from COVID. I see people daily that have lost people and still is fresh on the minds of losing loved ones. And I was one of the fortunate ones to have survived.
A miracle, really. I mean, everything I heard around the community is it doesn't look good, or, you know.
Well, I'll claim it. As when my doctor says, well, there's Lazarus. I claim it. I'm not a Lazarus, but I am the recipient of the healing power of God.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. You have a music business?
Yes, my music business is basically helping others through music. It's a creative business of finding the artistry and the dreams of youngsters to mentor and to help churches with their music programs. And I am a conductor of a community choir. I play for funerals, weddings, and community events. I play piano. And then I have my band, the James Story Band, that plays for, community events and private parties. We had a party to play for this past weekend. And it's like a bunch of old geezers getting together, trying to be rock stars. That we are not, but we enjoy playing together. And it's also healing for me to collaborate with those musicians as well as younger musicians that sometimes play with us.
Yeah. Tell me what good work means to you, especially considering music.
Good work means to me is sharing your gifts, your talents. Good works is connectivity through music. Good works is loving your neighbor and treating everybody equally. Good works is knowing that you're not in this world alone. And good works is worship.
Yeah, for sure.
And worship through music is good stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm getting choked up.
Why is that important? I mean, music's, it's in the Bible. It's biblical, right? What is the difference when we worship through music versus worship through solitude or worship through prayer? What is it about our soul that awakens with music?
I think the frequencies that music lend to us, it is otherworldly, it's indescribable. The frequencies of a single melody has the way of moving you spiritually. And music is a part of the spirit of everybody's spiritual being. When I was teaching music appreciation at Volunteer State Community College, the first question I asked my class, can you go 24 hours without listening to music? And I challenged them to do that. And I told them to write in a journal, and the next class time, nobody could do it. They could not turn the music off in their cars. They were bombarded with music at home. They were bombarded with music at the mall. So it's an impossibility. With that, music has the power of elevating one's soul and presenting oneself into the acclamation of worship and praise. Bach said, music is like praying without words. So music is a powerful medium in which I can't even imagine anyone's life without. We hear music in celebration. We hear music virtually pretty much all the time. And I can't even imagine my life. And I challenge others to not only listen to the music they enjoy, but listen to the other musics of the world. When I taught in Ireland, we were immersed in the Irish music, which made a major impact of teaching music education in Ireland with the synchronization of American music and knowing that the Irish music was a part of the African American experience during the Harlem Renaissance. And music is connected. Everybody boasts, well, that's not country music. My adage to that, music is music is music, and it's all connected.
I love that. So when I asked you about Black history and growing up and your history, you said something along the like you didn't have as many opportunities growing up.
Yes.
So who taught you? How did you learn it? Is it because of mentors?
Because of the church. Oh. Because of the church. My father was a pianist, and I had a lot of aunts and uncles that sang. And these were not trained musicians. They just they played, as they say, by ear. And the worship services back then were bombarded with spirituality, music that moved you, the music that made you tap your toe. It even made women and men shout to the praises of the glory of God. And I was wondering, what is that about that music? And being inherently surrounded by that and all the church musicians, I said by the 6th grade, I had started band. In the 6th grade, when I started band, I told myself, that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And as a dream of a 6th grader, here I taught music for 42 years, and still my life is surrounded by music. I think it was a gift, and I want to use my gift not only to please myself, but to please others.
Yeah. How do you take care of you these days?
I rest. I do follow doctor's appointments. I choose and pick what I want to do. And I do a lot of rest and meditation and reading. And I do a lot of research still with family lineage. I immerse myself with practicing piano, doing some arranging, and helping others with their music projects.
So you 1500, you got your family back to the 1500s? Yes. What advice would you give someone else? Especially, I mean, I hear this a lot, that it's hard to track Black lineage. So how is it the amount of work you've done? Have you gone into specific resources?
Ancestry.com, 23andMe, but you got to realize that my lineage is not one-sided. There was a European and part of that, which my great-grandmother was a part of that lineage of white settlers in Appalachian. So that's easy to trace that portion back. However, I could only trace a portion of my family back on one side to post-Civil War. Okay. So you got to remember that there were two different cultures that melded together. And, you know, it is what it is. I've taken the good and the bad and the ugly. For instance, we had a huge family celebration this past Juneteenth. We had a family reunion. And I was responsible for getting all that lineage together. And I published it in a brochure that our family has now of all the history and all the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations. And even a portion in the back of the book celebrating the young people with all of their accomplishments and encouraging them to know, letting them know that history is vital in their existence and not to forget the history of one's family.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was good work you did even within your family, because now they get to keep it.
And we promise to do family events. Our Thanksgiving and our Christmases are just big get-togethers with food, family, fun, and games. And it's very important that we stay connected with family because family is all we have.
All right, you shared a lot of lessons. Any other lessons you want to share with us today?
Oh, no. Thank you for the opportunity to share.
I could listen to you. I could listen all day. No, I mean, truly. I mean, just, little tidbits here and there that are, I feel like I could listen to you all day.
Well,
So
you're so
truly,
kind.
is there anything else, you wish people would know or wish people would remember?
Well, in the midst of erasing history, history is very important, not only to my race, but to everybody's culture. Culture is culture. We share our good and our bad and our ugly, and that's what makes us us. Mm-hmm. And this is why we are all connected. Like music. Music connects us. So does all of our cultural offerings.
It's how we're a world, right? I mean, like some people play, some people write.
Right.
We have to have all kinds of different people playing different music.
Exactly.
Right? And
exactly.
it's the same way with our talents and our gifts and our cultures. We need us all.
We are in this world together.
We are. Well, I'm glad to be in this world with you.
I am so glad that you invited me to share today.
And I can't wait to see you on, I'm going to forget the date again, the 23rd. 23rd, here we go.
Sunday evening, 6 p.m. at First Baptist Winchester in Gallatin.
Yeah.
A celebration of legacy.
Looking forward to it.
A celebration of the arts.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't wait. I'll see you there.
Thank you so much.